But where I want to look at is the Himalayan glaciers because they're so large. It's called the Water Tower of Asia. You recognize the Yellow River, the Yangtze, the Ganges, and the Indus. And I want to talk about the Indus River for just a bit, because it first flows through India and then flows through Pakistan. And the water treaty is such that India has allowed a certain number of liters, not a percentage, but a certain number of liters. The Indus River is about 20% down in water flow right now. India is actually building dams to maintain the water. Now, what's going to happen with Pakistan when they can't irrigate and they can't feed each other? Over half the world's wheat and rice come from India, China, and Pakistan and are traded globally to your stores. Now, these glaciers, the most pessimistic scientists say half the mass is going to be gone by 2020, and they're going to be gone by around 2030. The IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, about 1,300 scientists throughout the world, they say, no, it's going to be 1/3 of the mass gone by 2035, 2/3 by 2065, and all gone by 2100. However, the IPCC have consistently underestimated all climate change. And Chinese Academy of Science say 75% are going to be gone by 2050. Now, which one you take, it doesn't really matter, because within the next century, it's going to be gone. Half the world is going to be starving. Peru is another. Glaciers are supposed to be gone in 25 years. 70% of Peru's electricity is by hydropower. Global precipitation is actually because of the warmer, more evaporation. On an average, it increased by about 20%, but it hasn't been uniform due to a lot of factors, brown clouds being one of them. And droughts are going to come to the American Southwest. If you know anybody in California, new Secretary of Energy, Stephen Chu, warned that climate change would wipe out California farms by the end of the century because of the snowpack in the Sierra going away. And the nation's top agricultural state produce more than half of Americans' fruit, vegetables, and nuts. And Stephen Chu says, I don't actually see how they can keep their cities going. Arnold Schwarzenegger told California farmers this year, for a third straight year of drought, they may not get enough water. Water per person is predicted to decline, continue. The poor people in the world are going to be the ones that suffer the most. Right now, in 2009, this is what you have. You have people waiting in line with buckets for some muddy water. Our oceans present 72% of the planet's surface area. They absorb over 30% of our atmospheric carbon dioxide, and because of that, they're becoming acidic. They're absorbing 1 million tons of carbon dioxide per hour. The coral reefs are dying from this extra acidity, and the marine life is threatened. The coral reefs, about 20% of marine life depend on coral reefs. And the jellyfish population is exploding. The jellyfish have been around for over 600 million years, and they thrive on change. Change, and they reproduce like crazy. There are now more jellyfish in the world than there are humans. Warmer water holds less gas, as we said. Oceans are warming. In the last 5 years, there's been a 30% drop in absorption. Eventually, the oceans may again start to give off carbon dioxide. The Arctic, 1980 ice extent, you can see the red line. 2007, first year we were able to sail right through the Northwest Passage. When An Inconvenient Truth came out, they were saying at the end of the summer, August, September, the Arctic would be ice-free by 2070. And some rogue scientists back a few years ago said, no, 2040. Now, they're saying 2013. And the ice is disappearing faster than the climate models are suggesting. What they hadn't taken into account yet, the Bering Sea is plus 5 degrees. You got warm water currents rushing up and just basically flushing the ice away. Newfoundland had a record last year of 800 icebergs. The average is 200. Surface temperature anomaly. Just like carbon dioxide, we say the surface temperature is 0.8 of 1 degree mean going up, but it's not even. The Arctic now is around 4 or 5 degrees above normal. There's areas here you can see in the Antarctic that it's actually colder than it was before. And so if you hear somebody saying, well, yeah, I know this place in the Arctic, actually they're getting more snow and the ice is thickening. Yeah, but overall, even Antarctica is warming. Africa, for some reason, they're getting hit hard here. And where we are, we're just about average, about a little less than 1 degree above. Antarctic floating ice, they lose 150 cubic kilometers per year. Larsen Ice Shelf back in 2002, it was expected to last for 100 years, even with global warming. It took 5 weeks for it to break up. Greenland is about the same size as West Antarctica. It's losing between 150 and 250 cubic kilometers per year. It's a little bit warmer, remember, up in the Arctic. If all that ice melted, and you can see how more is melting now than there was back in '92, if all of that melted, 6-meter rise in ocean. And this is a moulin. It's basically a hole in the center of Greenland, and you can see the water rushing down, and you can tell from the size of the people how big these holes and moulins are. It's a lot of water going right down to bedrock, and it basically lubricates the interface between the ice and the bedrock, making it easier for it to slide off. 3 million years ago, Earth was 3 degrees warmer, all ice caps had melted, and the ocean was 25 meters higher according to geological evidence. Want to see what our continents look like? There's North America. There's Miami. We don't have to worry about Cuba anymore. It's underwater. England. England's basically gone. Denmark's gone. Germany's gone. Poland's gone. Netherlands are gone. Sweden's basically gone. Large part of Russia is gone. Beijing, large part of China, gone. Pakistan, gone. Population growth. You can see for a few million years it was pretty basically static until we hit the Industrial Revolution, until we started having machines do the work for us. And then we have just exploded. The difference between 2009 and 2020, which is 11 years, that population is greater than the world population total was before this explosion. 2030, 8.3 billion people expected by the United Nations, which will require a 30% increase in grain. What's more than half of all fossil fuels ever used by humans have been consumed in just the last 20 years.